welcome back to Between Us Girlies podcast. I'm Casey.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Bailey.
Oh my gosh, guys. The last time we talked, it was Thanksgiving Eve. We've had a holiday weekend. Let's hear, Brandon and Lindsay, you guys had more of a Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah, what y'all get into?
Well, first of all, I would like to say you guys challenged us to do a tequila shot that night.
I did.
We did several.
A lot.
That was a great Thanksgiving Eve. We had a ball. We had the most random group of people, which I always think makes the night the most fun because there's so many different possibilities. And it just worked. Everyone came to our house. I was like, none of these people together make sense, but it is working beautifully. We all went to Barstool. We had a time. I went to Winston after hours, which was wild. It was just, I really have no complaints except for my hangover the next day.
How was Philly? Were there a lot of people out?
Yeah.
Honestly, the bar was packed in the best way.
It looked packed in your stories.
Yeah, like we were in a really good area because we were like sectioned, but it didn't even matter because it was jumping regardless.
Y'all were my favorite table.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Yeah.
a question though. Did you see any of my men out? And is there anything I should be aware of?
I did see one of your men.
Not the one,
He was,
Casey.
He was very nice. Very nice, very
He asked where you
helpful.
were.
Okay.
He did drop a "Where's Bailey at?" and we said, she's back home for Thanksgiving, where we all should be. She took the night off.
Yeah, good. Did you need Rumpleman shots? Because we said that last episode too.
We didn't, but Brandon and I were both very sick, and I had to go home and the next day and fold napkins for my mother. So you can imagine how many brain points I had left.
Yeah.
I threw up on Thanksgiving morning. I woke up, I felt horrendous, like so bad. Like I forgot how awful it feels to be like that hungover.
Yeah.
And finally at like 11:30, I was like, you gotta eat. I had nothing in my fridge or pantry except for Tate's cookies. So I ate one, instantly projectile vomited.
no.
Then I felt so much better.
Oh.
Did you even enjoy eating Thanksgiving meal? Because that's like why Thanksgiving Eve is such a big drinking day.
Yeah, like no, honestly, like I started to get like kind of the sweats. Like my whole family was like, "You're so red." I was like, it was. I'm not gonna lie, my Thanksgiving was trash, but Thanksgiving Eve was phenomenal, and that's my favorite holiday, not Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had a ball.
That's good. I had such a boring Thanksgiving Eve. I didn't do anything. Thanksgiving was my first time ever doing 2 Thanksgivings. So like I've never had to like portion out what I eat and like be picky about like not eating too much at the first one so I could eat at the second one.
Oh, you did double duty.
Yeah, I did. I went to my family's and then my
That'll do it.
boyfriend's family. And
Oh,
it was
you did go to Jake's.
Yeah, so I drove up to his family's and it was great. I like perfectly like ate everything. His family had like way more food and I was glad because I was even hungrier then. So like did that. And then Saturday I went to Shady Maple, which is like
I saw that, but I've never heard of it
yeah.
before.
So this is for anyone who doesn't know. It's technically I hate this word. It's a smorgasbord. Yeah, that one. Which is just like a giant buffet in like Lancaster, PA that my family used to go to all the time. And we randomly decided to bring my boyfriend because he can eat like anything. And he had the time of his life there. He ate so much food. And it was really fun. It was just like a very random, we went and like walked around like Amish country and we almost rode in a horse and buggy. So it was very like off-brand weekend for me. Very random.
When I saw that you were at Shady Maple, like the only background I have on Shady Maple is like, for the listeners, like I'm a Black Baptist, like my church is loud. It's the robes, like what you see on television is what is there. Think of those women in hats going to Shady Maple. Like it is for
I love that.
like the
I
only
picture that.
women that I know who go, like it is like a journey. Like, we're going to Shady Maple. Like we're getting lit at Shady Maple for the old Black church ladies. So I'm glad Jake was one of them.
Yeah.
I
we
always
have
thought the
to
word
go.
smorgasbord was just like another name for. I thought it was just like a made up name for like a buffet. But when you put that up, I'm like, oh, it's probably like a German like word,
People
right?
are
Smorgasbord.
I think so. I posted a TikTok which ended up doing pretty well. Like it took off.
Yeah,
and
that's hilarious.
Yeah, and people are fighting in the comments about what that word means. Like some people are like, it's just another word for buffet, and then other
Really?
people are like, it means like, you know how TikTok comments
Yeah.
are. Like they were just saying the craziest things. Then they were saying my boyfriend like. They were just like TikTok comments. Once they get out of hand, they just go so crazy.
Let me get in there and say something.
It's just like so unnecessary. Like you're so rude for posting this. Your boyfriend can eat whatever he wants.
What?
Like, come on. Like
You weren't saying it was bad.
Right. I was like laughing at how much my boyfriend ate, and I made a funny video. Jake thought it was hilarious. Like, and people were like, "You're so rude for posting this. I wish I could date someone who like." Whatever they said.
People really project their
what?
own insecurities in the comments. It's like, just because you're not comfortable doesn't mean that everybody else is uncomfortable.
Right.
Some people live in happiness. Sorry that ain't you, sis. What were you gonna
Let
say?
them know.
What was I gonna say? I don't know.
About the comment section?
Oh, I was gonna say, let me get in there, but like,
Oh.
but like, that's so wild. I don't know what I was gonna say. Honestly, like, I had something in my brain, but it just boop went out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can
how
we
was
go
your-
there?
Yes,
I think we
I'm
should.
in there.
I
I love a
hate
buffet.
buffet. No,
I love buffets.
I hate communal utensils. I hate hot plates. I hate everything about it. But I would like to try the shady
No,
maple.
to be honest, there was a moment, like I kind of get that way too about food. Like sometimes like I just start to get a weird taste in my mouth. I'm like, oh, I don't want to eat that. And there was a moment when I was like looking through and there was like 200 people walking through the buffet all on the same thing. And I was like, ugh. But I just had to like swallow. I was like, you know what? I'm here.
Swallow that
I just drove
pride.
an hour here. I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I just tried to ignore it.
Swallow that pride and swallow that food, babe.
How was your weekend?
My Thanksgiving was good. For starters, for some god awful reason, and I hate to say the word God, my family wanted me to say grace for Thanksgiving.
What?
Oh
And-
my God.
The listeners, and you guys know, I'm not the most religious person. I can't remember the last time I went to church, and I grew up Catholic, and it was also just brought to my attention that I'm not really Catholic because I never got confirmed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I also just, nothing's in this brain. So we're standing there and my grandpa's like going down the line. He asked my uncle to say grace and he was like, no. And then my grandpa goes to church. He does a great sermon, like Baptist, like all that, like not a sermon, but like he can say a prayer. They say, Bailey, you do it. Guys, I close my eyes for like 5 to 10 seconds, silence. Like, you know how like in TV shows it like pans to everybody like what they're thinking? Guys, radio silence, like cymbals clashing. Like just how I lost my train. Guys, nothing was coming to my head. I couldn't even like,
my God.
I just couldn't. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm like, I don't really pray that often. I pray, but just like not praying over food. I just couldn't do it. Then we had some unwelcome visitors that stayed 2 fucking hours. Sorry. I was
This is excellent.
I was so mad on Thanksgiving because like these 2 random people just show up, not random people, they're my grandpa's friends, but they end up staying for, we had just blessed the food and cut the turkey, knock on the door. I didn't eat at all until like they left and I was livid. Just like, but I
had to
kept,
wait to eat.
I mean, they sat down, started eating, and I was just like, I was like mad to the point where I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm like, I can't eat right now because I was just like fuming. Like, I just was, my blood was boiling, but I kept it cool. I kept it respectful-ish.
My mom would have had a heart attack. Like my mom
Yeah.
spent 3 days picking out tablecloths and renting chairs. She like is a person who's like, oh, you can't come because I don't have a chair for you. Like we get name tags at the table. Like if random people had shown up, she would have been like, I'm really sorry, but leave.
Yeah. It was just a lack of, they couldn't like, they saw all, the food wasn't even dug into yet. That's the thing. They walked into the kitchen, saw all the food out, and I'm like, wouldn't you put 2 and 2 together to like go or just like say your highs and buys and get going? Sorry. That's just.
That is get
No,
head.
I also feel like we're both Capricorns and I feel like we hate being caught off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate being put on the spot. So them giving you no warning about the prayer, I know you were just like, nope.
Sweating just because my brain went so blank. Like I couldn't think of anything. I was like, Bailey, think of something like God bless the turkey, but I don't. Like,
Well, why didn't you just say that?
because the words in my brain weren't like, they couldn't connect. But other than that, I had a good weekend. My mom and I watched probably 11 episodes of My 600-Pound Life. When I tell you, for some reason, that's just like our favorite show to watch. Like, I don't know why. And it's not like we're not judgy about it because my mom had a gastric bypass. Sorry, Trace. But she had it like a while
Put
ago.
her business on
I'm
blast.
sorry. It's fine. Like 10 years ago. And so when we watch it, it's just so interesting because like people's like mental health. And like, it's just like, I just saw this girl, she was 27 years old, same age as us. And she was 725 pounds.
Oh my God.
And just like watching her journey, guys, it's just insane if you ever have the time.
How was
It
the
is-
ending? Sorry.
It's interesting, like the psychology where they're like, you have an enabler, and they like pick them out in the
Yes.
episode. Like I'm like, oh my God.
No, and I even told my mom, I'm like, I was sitting there, I was like, I want to watch an episode of someone that loves fast food and they have an enabler. Because a lot of men who are married to the women, they have a, like, I don't want to say this word, like a fat obsession kind of, like they like bigger
It's
women.
like not a fetish, but
A
it's
feeder.
like a,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a feeding.
Yeah.
I think it is a
fetish or
fetish.
something.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so like sometimes the women, like the 725-pound girl, like her husband was like, I don't want you to lose the weight. I don't want you to go through with this surgery.
Yeah,
That is
that's
abuse.
toxic.
It's like, it gets so deep into that, but like,
And TLC does not shy away from the drama.
No.
TLC used to be my favorite channel on television. Like,
if you have HBO Max, all the TLC shows are on there.
is
Stuff,
John and K+8 on there?
they might have added it because I was thinking, because My 600-Pound Life wasn't on there last week, and I said something, I said it out loud. I'm like, where's it at? And what do you know? This week it was on there.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Watch
They
also.
have My Strange Addiction, and they have the updated My Strange Addiction. So it's like, where are they now? And it is crazy. This guy who is in love with his car, like, yeah. He now has added several new vehicles to his.
No way.
You guys have to watch it. It is crazy to look at.
I thought on that show they try to fix the addiction though.
They like
Or
provide
no.
therapy resources, but at the end of the day, if you're drinking gasoline for 6 years, you're not going to stop because the TLC camera's in your face.
The one girl would like eat her dog's hair or something.
The
She
cat
was
hair?
Like, yeah. That is.
What else y'all watch? Anything else, please?
What was the other TLC show where it was like the not monogamy.
Sister Wives?
Yes, polygamous.
That was what. That guy was goofy. Like he was a weird bull. From his hair to his toes. Like I did not like him. The way he manipulated those women who, by the way, I don't even think he had a type. They all looked completely different. I think he wore several hats. There's a place for him in hell. Like something's off. Something's off.
He looked like those like Christian youth pastors that people make fun of on TikTok. Like he looked like he.
I
was
feel like
that
he
man.
was that. Wasn't he
Yeah,
going out and
probably.
say something? I don't know.
I think they're.
I might need to watch that show.
Yeah,
again.
I don't know.
No, but I recently started like rewatching Friends coincidentally. Like I was watching it. I started rewatching it probably like 2 to 3 weeks before Matthew Perry's death. And last time I watched it was probably in college. So like I can't remember how long ago that was or like anything really of the main plot. But I remember like the show obviously. So I started rewatching it and watching it now. I think you guys should all rewatch it because it's such like what we're doing right now. And I was watching the reunion and the producers pretty much said they created this show for the time of your life when your friends are your family.
Oh.
And it just hit so hard. I was sobbing because it's just because it's so true. Like right now, like our friends are our family, and the way they ended the show is everyone was getting married and having kids. It's like, all right, well then you start your family of your own. I feel like we're all slowly getting
Pop
into that.
one out, Casey.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're like you're married. So I feel like, well, I mean, she is. And so I feel like, I mean, we're getting into that life. We're 27, 28 now. And I'm just like rewatching the show. I'm like, whew, this is just bringing it all back.
Yeah.
Well, not back. It's like full circle, I suppose.
Yeah, I never really realized the ending was like that. Like that was
Yeah.
the purpose of the ending. I used to watch that show religiously.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I never watched it.
Brandon
Really?
Leona.
I
don't
saw
really
a
watch it
few
either.
reruns, and I think it's cute. But like, I was a Modern Family kind of guy.
Were
Like, that
you
was
really?
I was like, that's like my version of Friends. Like that was like a show that made me like feel really good. I've always like had a problem where like shows only film on one set. I feel like I need like a variety of like different locations, and I don't know. It just like was never my thing. But
No, I see that.
I feel like you also like shows with a lot of like like a One Tree Hill or like an OC
Yeah.
where there's like drama, there's laughter.
exactly, like I need a little bit of a soap opera, like
True Blood.
crazy shit. Yeah, True
True
Blood.
Blood.
Oh my God, Gossip Girl, the OC, One Tree Hill. Like I need some like sluttiness, some scandals. Friends just was like very feel good, but for me, like my favorite feel good show is Modern Family.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That's such a funny show.
It's great.
Oh, it's so good.
Didn't you start watching the new what show were you just talking about on your story?
Squid Games.
Oh my,
So
is it
good.
Oh, is it good?
You guys
So
need to
good.
watch it.
If you watch the OG Squid Games, you'll love this one. Honestly, potentially even more. Which I was nervous about because I was like, this isn't going to be that good because like the people aren't actually dying. Like there's no high stakes. not to be fucked up, but I'm like, what's the
Like
what-
how serious can it
well,
be?
it's crazy because in that show they had to die. In this show they get the same amount of cash prize and they just walk home, like whatever. But they do a really good job of like making you feel like honestly uncomfortable the whole time you're watching it, which I felt during the original Squid Games. Like that was not a binge watch for me. I had to watch like one episode at a time because it's like heavy shit. But it's really good.
It's really, really good.
Ooh, I need
So I
like something
recommend.
new to watch. So
yeah.
that's perfect.
And the drama is good. Like you wouldn't expect any good drama to come out of like a competition show like that, but
Yeah, there's a lot. A lot
I love a good competition show.
Yeah.
too.
Any other updates, Bailey? Any boy updates?
It was pretty chill this week, and I was back home. But what happens sometimes is I realize this. It's like the men can like smell that my pheromones have left the city. So so I just get like random texts like, oh hey, or like I got like a few DMs like, oh, where you at? Like, you see where I just posted on my story the location. Like, you see I'm not in Philadelphia.
What's the point of that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think
People
just
sometimes really do not check though. Like they will message you and they will not even click your story to like be like, oh, let me see what they're doing first. Like I get crazy DMs that I'm like, did you read the room? Like, did you see the stories that I just posted? Now is not a good time to ask me for a favor. Crazy.
Yeah, the only thing I did get, which was annoying, that same little boy we talk about the past 3 episodes, the one that just unfollowed me. I get a text on Saturday night at like 1 a.m. I'm back home, mind you. What was it? WID, want to smoke? And I was like, well, I wasn't home, but I was like, bro, you just unfollowed me last week. I didn't answer.
Crazy.
I haven't answered the last 10 of his texts. I thought that was...
That is like the definition of like that, like, what is it, like, not ghosting, but it's like breadcrumbing or whatever, where it's just like random little
just
things.
Like popping back in.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, so I even had something so random. I sent you guys a screenshot. I had a guy from literally 5 years ago, like so irrelevant, just randomly start watching my stories again and like liked all the stories of me and my boyfriend, which was so weird because like, what? First off, my boyfriend is like half of my stories. But this guy was like liking all of, like, and I'm just like, for what? There is no reason.
Like, what's the reason other than to like say I'm watching?
Right. And I wanted to like block him because I'm like, I don't even care to see your name, but it was just so random. Like, why do guys think those little things are like beneficial to them?
They want to remind you that they exist. And it's like, you guys are traumatic losers. I didn't forget about you. What made you think that you were forgotten? I've tried to forget the misery, but like, not speaking from personal experiences. I'm going to be quiet now. I think I'm saying too much.
No, but I feel like if you had posted something on your story that gave him a reason to like swipe up or text you, that's different. And if I wasn't posting, like, if you check our stories or our socials and there is no indication that we want your attention, pay attention to that.
Like, go away. I actually sent my man a screenshot of this guy who was in my DMs, and it was just message after message after message. And his response to me was, his delusion is insane. Because it's like, are you serious? Like, you are still going. Like, it's bizarre. People are weirdos.
Yeah.
I think you should block him.
I know.
Give him a little taste.
I don't really block people though. I get blocked, but but like someone could literally that happened. But like someone could literally just ignore me out in public, like we haven't been talking for 3 years, and I still won't block them. Like I said,
Fair
it
enough.
happened.
Fair enough.
Well, speaking of people we should block, we did talk about our pyramids this week, and we decided we are going to rank the worst type of influencers.
Now, technically, we didn't decide that.
Yeah, that's true.
The audience, we posted on our story, y'all are messy as fuck because we got that one a few times, so we'll do it.
There were a lot of good options too. I will say.
You guys came through. I took one for my personal TikTok. Sorry, y'all. But I think the audience wants us to be a little messy.
Yeah.
It's
and I think
time.
it's like talking about influencers is so funny because all of us, one, have different influencers that we like and hate. Like who you follow, what influencers you choose to follow is so personal. It is like literally, it could be like the most weird random reason you follow them. And so like I love comparing them with people because it's like, oh, I actually hate that person for the reason that you like them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so different.
All right, so let's kick things off. At the bottom, which is the least offensive of the ones that we're going to talk about today, is the bland, boring influencer. And I love, this is becoming such a trend now where other people are making like their own content mocking these people. There's this one TikToker, I have to give her a shout out. Her name's Dr. Natalia. And she just makes videos mocking bland influencers and like how they talk. So it's like, all right, guys, I just wanted to hop on here really quickly. I've been so busy with so many upcoming projects that I can't wait to share with you guys. So I'm so sorry. I've been really MIA, but miss you all and can't wait to show you guys all the fun things I've been working on. Like, there are so many influencers that dead ass speak just like that. And I saw this other girl today make a video about it, and she was like, influencers talk like that because they need to focus on like not saying like and which is so true. I will cut my videos so heavily because I'm like, oh my gosh. Even when I'm doing these podcast clips, I'm like, I say like so much, and it's really frustrating. Yeah.
Those influencers crack me up too when they're like trying to like explain the most like basic thing, and they're like giving the craziest explanation for it, and it's like, babe, you could literally just say you used a Brita water filter.
Yeah.
They're like, I just bought this new product because I'm so worried about my skin, and it's like, get to the point.
Like their life updates, like if they took a nap, they have to update you like, oh my God, you guys, I just took the craziest nap. I've just been so sleepy lately. Like,
Great.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Also, those people who become influencers, so like you have a viral video pop off and it's really funny, and the next day they'll follow up and be like, or they'll continuously follow up and say, I just wanted to thank all of you for the hundreds and thousands of likes, comments, and views. I had no idea. Like, shut up, speak up, and stop. Like, it's the slow snail, like,
Like, and so right here, like, just keep it moving. I agree.
like storytelling is a gift, and not most, like,
Yeah.
people don't have it.
I also feel like that whole like line of being like, I didn't expect this to blow up.
Yes,
That
you
like,
did.
could have worked 2 years ago, because I feel like TikTok was really weird then. But now you should expect that whatever you post, there is a chance it's going to go viral. And it doesn't even have to be viral like through TikTok. You could just go viral through your hometown or viral through your college.
Very
like
true.
you should keep in mind, people are going to see what you post.
Yeah.
So don't
That's a
be
really
posting
good point.
something and be like, oh, I just can't believe this blew up. Well, I can. You posted it to a public app. Like,
I think that on the bottom is social climbers, like people who are just, they will do whatever it takes to get to the top. Like they will. I just hate them. I think they're terrible, but I don't think they're the worst.
I will say, like
Like,
I
get your
feel
bag.
like every influencer at some point, especially during your come up, has a social climber tendency. Like they have a need, not a need, but like almost an urge that's sometimes hard to control, to like, you're with another really huge creator at the same event, and like you want to be at that table with them, like you want to talk to them, but there comes a time where like you kind of realize that your followers and all of that, they really don't matter. And not to sound like so cliche, but it really matters how that person is, like truly to their core. And I remember, like, even when I was first starting off, like sometimes those people who have the biggest followers were the people who were making me feel the shittiest in a room. Like whether they were like outwardly like going out of their way to like talk over me or ignore me, or they were just like honestly just like kind of creating a sense of uncomfort. Like it is like very, very weird. And then you see creators that you would think would be like the top, like people would use them to social climb, and they still social climb. When I was at Fashion Week, my jaw dropped when I saw people who would go on their podcasts and talk about people who are clout chasers, and I would see them go into little sections with people that I know they were not friends with just to stand next to them. And I was like, huh, noted.
Do you think you
Yeah.
have like a bigger viewpoint on that because you're in this industry? Like, I feel like we all see it very differently, but like
Right.
if you're just watching, like how do you even like pick out it's easy for some people, but like I guess it is really disappointing when you realize that somebody sucks.
I think there's a few tell-all signs. Like one, it's like brand trips. You see this a lot where like one creator who's maybe, let's say like a newer creator, maybe they're not as big, is posting with like the big A-list creator so many times, and like you can tell that like the A-list creator like kind of is just like quickly lip syncing, and like we're probably like kind of begged to be in that video with them. And like I don't really like get angry at that. Like, babe, if you want to use that A-list creator, get your clout, whatever. I wouldn't continue to do that because people will find you really annoying, but like I understand because I'm in the industry like why people do that. But even like, I don't even want to sound cocky, but I've had instances where I've been at events in Philly and some smaller creators are like, oh my God, Brand, like you have to be in my day in the life. And I'm like, we're not friends. You taking a clip of me ordering a martini wouldn't really be in your regular day in the life.
Yeah.
Like why are you interviewing me for this? Like, we don't hang out. Like, it's very interesting. But that's all I'm going to say about that, honestly, before I get myself into some trouble.
No, but I feel like that touches on like an interesting part of it. Like you said, everyone kind of goes through their like social climber era. Like you have a tendency where you want to do that. I think where it crosses the line is like, how far are you willing to go to be a social climber?
Yes.
Like, are you willing to like throw your morals aside?
Exactly. If you're now going to events and the people you came with, you're ignoring them to talk to other people, that's fucked up. In a sense, like there is a little bit of innocence in social climbing where it's like people want to be liked, they want to be desired. It goes back to high school. Like you want the cool kid to like you. But if you're making that your whole personality, you're going to lose yourself really quickly.
No, I think like opportunity chasing is different than social climbing though. Like if you do it correctly, like if there's a huge creator and you're on a brand trip with them and you have the opportunity to collab with them, like that is an opportunity on a silver plate. But if you're at a restaurant and you're ordering a drink and someone's like, be in my TikTok, it's like,
very interesting.
For what?
When TikTok first started, because I was on there like during the pandemic, it was very easy to point out because like all of this, I feel like the creators now that are big now, like the Bryce Hall, they were small back in like 2020. But it was so obvious to see during that time who was collabing with who on those TikToks, like who was going out to LA, going to the Hype House, all these houses, and you could just tell they were kind of like social climbing. But I can also see that's just trying to build their content as well. But it was just so obvious to me. Yeah.
I also feel like what falls into this is a little bit of like difference, but like influencers that just post like what is trending, like especially with TikTok Shop, like all of the, like they just take whatever's trending and they act like it's like their favorite product. And it's like, did you actually try this out? Do you actually, my biggest thing is that like 8-drawer dresser that everyone is like obsessed with on TikTok. Like that thing is literally, I have owned a dresser like that before, but stop acting like it is like a CB2 West Elm level dresser. And I feel like people do that in like a social climbing aspect. Like they see a product is trending or they see something is trending and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna talk about it because it's like, and it's like, do you even like that?
Yeah.
Like, is that even authentic?
Yeah. What else do you guys have at the bottom?
I feel like I don't know, I guess it would come in next on the pyramid is like clickbait influencers and like influencers who really love to like say something that they either do something or say something that obviously did not happen. Like we had to explain to Lindsay today what clickbaiting was because we were talking about different types of influencers and I used the example of someone who like, this is more like on TikTok, but I see
YouTube.
the end. On YouTube. Sorry. This is more on YouTube, but I see the energy on TikTok of someone being like, oh my God, I almost died. And then they just like tripped or they like were walking out of a store and someone like bumped into them. But like, I see there's this one TikTok and I don't want to give her clout because she's annoying and I don't even actually know her name, but she like always pretends that she's in some sort of social scenario that like she'll go to a restaurant and she'll be like, the waiter told me I can't film my food here.
I know who you're talking about.
Or she'll like go somewhere, she's like filming on a New York street and somebody walks through her video and she's like, they walked right through my video as I was filming. Like it clearly is fake. And if it's not fake, she's just putting herself in situations like that. Like you're just, eventually people will learn that you're lying and they'll die off.
I think they're catching on because the comments, because I'm like, is this real? Because I'm like, it's too fake. And I'm like, you're also putting yourself in a weird situation, you're not making yourself look good in the situation she puts herself in. I know what you're talking about.
Of this, I think it's like a media group at this point where it's a collection of actors who I guess just want to get their limelight. And they will film the most outrageous skits. Like, I'm going to hit my teacher. I'm going to cuss my mom out and then spit on the food she made for dinner. I'm going to punch my little brother in the throat. It's like the craziest. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God. Yeah. Meanwhile, I go to the comments. I saw this actor in the other video. This is fake. I'm like, really?
You know what's hard though? Those clips resurface on Twitter. And when I watch them on Twitter, I think they're real. And then I go to the replies and I'm like, oh, they're not. Yeah. It's weird with the clickbaiting. Something I learned quickly in this industry is that there are some creators that are not scared of getting canceled. They want, if it means that they are going to have a viral moment where they are in the press, their stitches are going off the charts. The fucked up thing about this industry is when you see someone make a really, really awful video saying terrible things, regardless, if that goes viral, they're getting hundreds of followers from it. I literally was talking to this one girl and she told me at an event, she was like, well, the day I got canceled is the day I got the most followers. And I was in shock. And I've done podcasts before where like I've thought about getting up off set because like the person that was hosting the podcast was saying crazy things that I knew that they were going to clip them and that they were going to go viral. And for me, that's never been my brand. I would rather have no followers in a brand that I like really am proud of than like have a ton of followers and like not actually be the person I am online. But it is wild the things that people say just because they want to get clipped, they want to get stitched, they want to get duetted. They want the New York Post to write about them, whether it's positive or negative.
Well, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That like reminds me of that girl that I don't know if I want to use her name, but a girl who Brandon and I will watch her videos, and her niche on TikTok is talking about other creators, and it's always in an extremely negative way. And it is like, I genuinely wonder if she feels these things. Like she will make a comment like Brandon's wearing a green jacket, and she'll say like, I can't believe that Brandon thought that a green jacket was appropriate to wear during October because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Are you kidding me? He is so stupid. He's so ugly, and I hate his clothes. And it's like, well, mama, relax. Somebody needs a chill pill. Wild. So I just wonder, like, do you think that way, or do you just say those things to be like, do you just want clicks?
Yeah, I feel like I see it a lot too. Maybe it's because I like am in a relationship, so a lot of my TikToks are like that. But it'll be like women, and they'll be like, "My husband hasn't complimented me in 6 months," and it's like a video where they're purposely making their husband look terrible. And I'm like, are you doing that because you like need therapy and you need to tell someone? Or are you doing that because you know the comments are going to be like, "Girl, leave him," and you're going to get a lot of clout? Or like, "My husband hasn't cleaned the house in 2 weeks," like. And you just don't know if it's true because, like, they clearly are posting this for a reason.
Yeah. Also, like, why would you want to tell people your house hasn't been cleaned in 2 weeks?
What
Get
I'm
up and clean it yourself.
The one I watched last night, the girl was like, "It's been 64 days since my husband complimented me."
That's not. That's crazy.
Then go to Target, put on some makeup, and ask for a compliment. Like, stop. Why are people
go to the gas station? I promise you,
walk down the street.
Yes,
look at yourself in the mirror and say some positive affirmations. Shut up.
Another one that is bad, I think it's worse, but it's also in the same vein, like kind of rooted in like inauthenticity, is people that are performative. Like they really like make a whole brand, and it's very obvious that they're pretending to care about something that they're not, and they'll upload a video taking a strong stance on something, and the comments will kind of like basically challenge them to explain their thoughts, and they have no like background knowledge. And it's like, did you post about this because you believed in it, or did you post it because you thought it was trendy? And that is something like, when there is a very, very strong social justice like movement going on, sometimes even a performative post, if it's going to help contribute to donations or greater conversations, there is some benefit to it. But like, if you're going off on a tangent and you are talking about something that you are not confident in talking about, I think that sometimes it's better to be silent than be inauthentic and like misrepresent something or miseducate. Like what comes with having a platform is a responsibility, but like there's also a fine line between like doing the right thing and benefiting the people who follow you, and also kind of putting them in the wrong direction and thinking that they should think something that you don't even necessarily think.
Yeah, that's like such a touchy subject now, because I feel like there's the whole conversation of like, because you have a platform, are you supposed to speak on things? Or if you're not educated or qualified to speak on it, like, do you have to? Like,
and that we can do it a separate episode.
Right.
But that one is pretty bad, I guess, from being in the industry. And I notice certain people do that. And I'm like, you should not post that because I know you don't understand it.
And even on like a smaller scale, like not about like injustice, performative people who you can just see through it. Like you just know that that's not their real day in their life, or that's not really what they're like spending their money on, or like whatever the context of the video is. I think we as a society are so much smarter than we used to be in terms of that. Like, I feel like it's very obvious to tell when people are faking it.
Also, I'm all about getting paid. Like, it is amazing when a brand wants to work with you, but like, I really appreciate those creators who are like, I am not going to take this brand deal, or I'm not going to do this partnership. I'm not going to expose this PR that I got because I don't like the brand.
Yep.
And when you are forcing a brand onto followers, it is like, you know that they don't use it. You know that they don't do it. Like, it's just, I'm like, bro, why did you do this?
Did you guys see the whole thing with James Charles getting like semi-canceled for that?
No.
I don't think it like went super far, but he, he like, in a current video today, he was talking about how like back in 2018, he promoted this like Morphe palette. And he was like, this is the ugliest, worst palette I've ever used in my life. He was like, I was promoting it to get the back. Like he was pretty much saying he like lied about promoting it. And everyone was just like, you forced all these 15-year-old girls to ask for this for Christmas, and you knew it was a terrible palette, and like you have no ground to stand on.
I mean, for being such a big beauty influencer, like I was buying the stuff he was saying. Was it his Morphe palette, like his collaboration?
It was not his. It was like I remember the shades are all like brown and red. It was like a moment on TikTok. Like people were coming at him for it. But yeah, he like recently was, and he was such a casual video too. He was just like with his friends, and he's like, "Oh my god, that was the worst palette ever."
Damn.
And everyone was just like, "Dude, you literally." And then people were pulling up his old videos of him being on YouTube and being like, "So I just got this new palette," and everyone was just like shitting on him.
That it honestly might even like rise to the top of the pyramid for me. Not the tippy top, but like it's up there. Like
there's a Jeffree Star who will literally buy the product and say, "Do not buy this," or I think he's gotten like PR packages like, "Do not buy this product."
That's like the one thing I respect about him. Just one.
All right, what are our top 2, ladies?
This might be number 1, but I will say it. Those influencers who are so out of touch. And I feel like, I don't know if it's like a social cue they're not picking up, or just like they don't realize what they're posting, or they're literally just posting because like, oh, I live in my own little bubble. Like, especially like this, and people who like flex their money, I think like out of touch people like that, when there's such like bad things going on in this world, and like just posting the content that shouldn't be posted. I don't know.
Right.
I think if you're gonna take the money route, you need to go full Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and post your money and make that your whole thing. Like if you're gonna post about being relatable and a normal person, but then also flex like this crazy amount of money, like those two things don't add up. Like if you're gonna be crazy with your money, just go all out. Be so unrelatable that no one can come at you.
Exactly.
Just take
like,
it
figure
so
it
far.
out.
I think there's 2 lanes with the out of touch influencer. And this is what I think, there's been a lot of discourse on this on TikTok. There is the true like out of touch influencer that it's sad because they started off relatable and then they got all of the success and the money and then lost it. But there is also, and a lot of people need to understand this, some influencers that were never in touch to begin with. A lot of influencers, not all of them, but a lot of influencers were rich to begin with. They had the resources to film vlogs. They had the resources to travel. They had the resources to buy the expensive luxury products before they were making their own money. And I think now some people are like, you're so out of touch now. And it's like, babes, they got famous off a Louis Vuitton haul.
Yeah.
They were never in touch to begin with. If that's on your FYP, you need to recirculate your FYP to go on creators that you want to watch. But some influencers, like, they were always rich.
I
like
agree.
You're noticing it more now because they have a ton of followers and they're more in front of you, but block those people. But it is really, really sad when there's someone who like was so really down to earth and you can just tell, and it's hard. Like even myself as an influencer, like I know I'm not as relatable as I was the first time I posted a video. I live a different lifestyle, but I try to always ground myself. And like, I do this podcast with my 3 best friends. You guys work 9 to 5s. I live in Philadelphia. I could have instantly taken success and moved to New York, LA, Austin, but it's like, that's not me. And I won't let this career change me, but that it's easier said than done. There's been times where I'm like, catch myself acting like a little bit of a diva. I'm like, oh my God, like snap out of it. You're a human being. Stop. And for some people, it's just like, if you have that type of personality, like I said, this industry will eat you alive and you will like lose what is in front of you.
I feel like the second lane for out of touch, where it's like the people who had it like before the success, I don't think that's an out of touch creator. I think that's an out of touch like person.
Yeah.
Like somebody who's looking at that and like, because if you have it, use it. Like I have no issue with somebody like having it off the rip and like taking your lemons and making lemonade. Like I'm jealous. Like I wish I had it.
Yeah.
But like for those people who look at it and they're like, oh, this person was so cool and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, like, yes, they were so cool and they had it before, but it's like, you didn't pay attention. Like you're an out of touch fan, you're an out of touch viewer, an out of touch listener. Like
I agree.
I completely agree. And I think it goes back to influencers are absolutely to blame for certain things, but we as a society have a tendency to put any person, celebrity, influencer, any person of like quote unquote value on a pedestal that doesn't need to exist. It's like you expected them to be something, you built that idea of them up in your head. That is all on you in some regard. Like it is not all on the influencer all the time.
Yeah.
No.
Even like King Kylie Jenner, my queen. I feel like on her TikTok, especially any Kardashian, people are like, oh, you're flexing your big house, like blah, blah, blah. Like they do that. They forget. I'm like, you realize they've had a show for the past 20
They're
years.
like the richest people.
Yeah, like why are you expecting her not to show off her stuff? Like if you have a bag, you have a bag. Show it off. Like I hate that. I'm like, think about that before you comment. Like, yes, she's kind of out of touch. I mean, we don't know her personally, but like, yeah, she lives in a $5 million house probably.
There is just no world where any of the Kardashians, Jenners, or even people in their circle will ever be in touch. No matter, like, stop, like what you're saying, like, just stop expecting that to ever happen. They are just as unattainable as like a fake character in a movie. Like, don't try to pretend that they are real people. They are not.
And the sooner you realize, if you just stop posting negative, like stop commenting on their stuff and stop making videos about them, those people, the best way to stop their success is to make them irrelevant. And the best way to make somebody irrelevant is to stop talking about them. Like if someone truly is bothering you, the best thing you could do is just block them and not continue to like engage with them.
What were you going to say?
I feel so like, I honestly feel bad for those people. Like I saw a video of Northwest, who I think is like, Northwest might be my favorite in the really game right now. Like that is my girl. Like she is, if my kids are not like her, I don't want them, because she's just so sassy and fun. But she did a video like on that Kim and North account, which I love.
I love it.
And she had a Chanel bag in her hand. And some girl commented, it was like, my entire tuition like on this 10-year-old's hand. And it's like, she is Northwest. Like her mother and father are like those girls. I mean, Kanye West, not so much now, but he was like, the bull was a genius. Like, I'm sorry, but her parents are
multi-millionaires.
They're amazing. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but did you really think bullying a child on TikTok was going to better you in life? Yeah, she has a Chanel bag and she still doesn't see you.
Right. Like, did you think Northwest is walking around with a Jansport? Like, she's
Please.
not. I'm sorry, she does not have the LL Bean book bag that we all had. She's not going to the schools that we all went to. All right, Lindsay, hit us with number one.
Number one is the overhyped influencer. And this is for my girls and guys, gays and theys, who contribute absolutely nothing. They're not funny. They're not smart. They're not pretty. They're not cool. They're just there. And for some reason, everybody is invested and interested. For what? Those are influencers that actually make me mad. Those are people I don't look for. Those are people's names I don't type in because I don't want them on my FYP. Like, I don't want to bully people behind the scenes. So I just choose to eliminate that from my life, but I cannot escape them because everybody else for some reason loves them. I don't understand.
That happened to me, and I don't want to say the name, but I won't. But just because at the beginning, like that person was so overhyped and I really couldn't understand, and they were on my FYP to the point where I literally blocked. I said, I'm not interested, blocked. But then for some reason, something changed in my mind and I unblocked and I love them now. I can't say the name, but
I mean, the relationship, it's kind of similar to like sometimes musical artists. Like you don't like their music in the beginning and then they kind of grow on you. But where I disagree with you is where you said they're not pretty. I think the pretty girls get so much pretty privilege in so many aspects. I've seen so many creators that are not interesting, and I can tell that they are getting those views because they are hot, and the algorithm has been literally proven to benefit girls that look like that. And there are so many times where I'm watching a video and I'm like, how does this have so many likes? This person is not entertaining. This is a badly edited video. It's not a good video. And I'm like, oh, because she's hot.
But I low-key understand that, not personally, like that's not a Lindsay Anderson like viewpoint. I just get it from other people where it's like, it's almost like a character in a movie. Like, let's take Alex Earle, for example, which I don't think any of those things about.
No, I don't either.
I think she is the opposite of that. But when people first started watching her, she was a white, pretty girl. I went to Ulta and I bought makeup that Alex Earle had, and I'm a black girl. Like I looked at her and I'm like, this girl is so cute. Like, I love her style. Like, I love what she does with like her videos, blah, blah, blah. I have to go buy this. And it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at someone and being like, oh, this is like a pretty girl. If you want to make it a deeper topic about like race and like what the internet likes and what America likes, like we can get into that because that's a completely different conversation. But if you look at someone and they fit an aesthetic that like could better your beauty or your wardrobe or your hair, like I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's fine. Even if the person is not conventionally like breathtaking. if there's something pretty about that person to you, like I think it could, I don't know.
I guess I come at it from a creator standpoint where it's like, I agree with you, but then sometimes those creators who do a great job of making content about superficial things, then they get an opportunity to interview someone on the red carpet, and it's like, this person has no personality and the interview is bad. The comments will be like, so-and-so has no idea how to interview. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy that like you're getting that opportunity like because you have a followers that like, and that's just bad marketing for the agency that scouted them for that role. But it's hard. This is a really hard topic
Yeah, it's
for
a
me.
touchy one.
I feel like there's the part of that too where it's like, I don't know, because like sometimes someone is just overhyped because they're attractive and people are going to follow them because they want to look like her, they want to be her. And there's like nothing we can do to stop that. They're just going to be an
It's just
influence
gonna
in their own.
happen.
Yeah. But I think it's like when there's no depth to them, like, but they want to have depth. Like
Right.
if they're
Like,
really
give me more.
Yeah. Like if they're just being hot on their For You page and that's all they do is be hot, let them like knock yourself out, be hot, do whatever. But if they want to have depth and they still don't, then it's like, okay, I'm over it. Like you have all these followers, you have an opportunity and you're still just going nowhere with it.
All right, while we're on this topic, let's get into FYPs. My whole entire FYP, and I don't know why I'm such a hater on this. It's like, I'm about to give you guys the ick because there's no reason for me to hate on this, is the whole trend where it's like, we're podcasters. Of course we're going to show up and talk about all the juicy stuff. Or it's like, husband, wife will do it. It's like, we're married. Of course I don't want to go to your girlfriend's birthday party, but I'm going to go anyway. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like... I feel like it's one of those trends where it's like trying to be relatable, but a lot of times people are doing it in a niche relationship that like isn't totally relatable. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I just don't have enough close friends, but it's been like, I skip them now. I'm just like, I can't. Like the whole, we're sisters. Of course I'm going to steal clothes out of your room without asking. Like, oh my God, you're so quirky.
Yeah. It's
You're
kind of
sisters.
giving like Tumblr, like when you would just make those like text posts on Tumblr of like the most basic thing you've ever heard in
That's
your
the
life.
thing.
Like that's the energy it
It's
gives.
like they're acting like these are revolutionary, and I'm like, yeah, okay, okay, that's mine.
I haven't seen these.
Oh,
It's gonna pop up now.
It will be all over your FYP. That is
All right,
mine.
who's next?
Okay, mine is Lisa Beasley, aka Corporate Erin.
Yes.
She
I
is
love her.
honestly like right under Northwest, one of my favorites on TikTok. I feel like she sees me like for who I am as a person. Like she is a person who sits and kind of makes fun of like corporate lingo, corporate vibes. She does like the corporate pause where it's like, so you know that we're all gonna get together for a quick scrum meeting. So
The hard swallows.
it's hard
She
swallow.
gets the hard swallows.
Wait, I want to watch these.
And she'll say,
She's
she'll be like,
amazing.
so she'll do lives and it cracks me up. People will be like, what's your policy on PTO or bereavement? And she'll go, so I know that your mother just died last night. 1 day off PTO for your bereavement day. Okay, that's just what the company does. So if we want to touch base later on that, we can do. It is so funny. Like it's
Her
so
videos
funny.
are so good that like they actually like trigger my fight or flight. Like I vividly like am brought back to the days where I worked corporate for 5 years, and I literally am like, oh my God, these type of people exist in everywhere. And they're literally the reason why I wanted to quit jobs. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. It's
She's
crazy.
like someone that like I feel like I would just hate her if I met her. Like her as a person, purely because she's so good at being an act. Like she's
People
so good at
say
that
that in the
personality. Yeah, like
comments.
if I saw her, no matter how much I love her videos, because I love them, I wouldn't want to go talk to her. 'Cause I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna do it, and I'm like, I couldn't do it.
I would love to see her in person. I'd be like, tell me how to write an email. Like I just want to talk, babe.
Love that. One of my favorite things we do as a friend group is when we type our text messages out, like corporate emails, like best BLW. They're so
Let's
annoying.
circle back on this.
Yeah. My FYP, I don't know if you guys have seen this, is for the new Saltburn movie. It's the new, have you seen the previews for it?
I've seen people talk about it.
It's apparently a mind fuck, and it's not an A24 movie either. It's kind of like an A24 like horror, but not really. It's with Jacob Elordi and sexy fine ass. And I'm sorry, got a little gross there. Woo, sorry, I'm hot. But it's like him and like a guy, and like they're in this like rich boarding school, and they become friends, and like he tells the guy he met, like his friend, like, oh, why don't you stay the summer with me at my family's like big old mansion? And apparently shit just goes weird and creepy, and apparently it's just like sick and sexual, manipulative. Like it sounds like such a good movie.
I would like
it
to
out?
see it.
Yeah, it's out. And like I've seen so many TikToks where it's like, I don't know what life was like before Saltburn because it's so messed up. I saw like one little tidbit of what's in the movie, and I'll tell you guys afterwards. It's sick. Like we have to see it.
Wow.
But I have seen reaction videos of that. My For You page is all Matt Rife and him getting canceled and his Netflix special. And at first it was like the natural, like just everybody talking about it. But I've been on that For You page. Like that's been on my TikTok for so long. I've gotten so niche that now it's like breaking down each joke he made and how they're like, the jokes aren't funny and the jokes, like he made this one joke about like astrology girls. And he's like, just because Jupiter has a ring and you don't, doesn't mean you can blame your problems on the planet. And everyone's like, babe, Saturn's the one with the ring. Jupiter doesn't have a ring. Like he literally
I did see that.
said this joke on a Netflix special and the punchline doesn't even make sense.
It's also just like you've heard those jokes before.
Right.
We've all heard the astrology girl
Yeah,
jokes.
his whole cancellation is beyond awful. But like, it's like all the only thing on my For You pages.
Oh, I
is
hope you
that.
get off of that. You don't deserve
It's on
to.
mine.
No, I
too.
kind of love it though because like I've
Oh.
hated him for a long time, but like secretly, I've never had like I just think he's cringy.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that everyone else hates him, I'm like, I eat it up. I
He
want to
was
know.
overhyped.
Yeah,
Overhyped.
100%.
Wasn't he on Wild and Out? Isn't that where his
And
come
he
up
was
was?
terrible.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta be like good on that.
I saw
it is.
again. I'm on like it's gotten so niche. Like his old clips are resurfacing, and his like
Yeah.
pre-facial whatever he got done, cheek filler,
the
like
buckle fat.
yeah,
Whatever.
everything he got done. It's like pre that.
Wow. No, like I feel like I know you're in it because like sometimes when you're stuck, like my Saltburn, it's literally almost every other one, but you have to watch it and you have to click on the hashtags, and that's where you get sucked in more.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's finish off with an immunity necklace. I'm skipping this week. I've said enough.
All right. I don't know why my blood pressure is so high today. If you drive, I'm not even going to say immunity necklace because I mean what I say. I am not sorry for this. If you drive a Tesla, I think you should go to hell. And
Oh my god, I'm dying.
and because, you okay?
Kai.
No, like,
You need some water? Get some water. Put your arms up.
you guys, like, what's happening? I'm really sorry.
No, I think we should keep this in. You're dying. She's okay, everyone. She's
All
lost a
right,
pulse.
bet. Let's
Oh,
do
are
it.
you good?
Oh man.
Choked up about Tesla drivers. No, I think Tesla drivers, they rely too much on this goddamn car. Because it's like, it's self-driving. I was stuck, every single time I'm stuck behind a Tesla in traffic, they don't fully use their brakes. I see the brake lights in front of you and they're just slowing down. Brake that ass. Like, I think they think, because they randomly brake. Even if you're on the highway, there's no one in front of you, the car is randomly braking. I think it's also older people who have Teslas because it's self-driving and it does everything for you. And I think people rely too much on that.
I will never forget. I was going on a long drive as a passenger princess in a Tesla, and the man who was driving was so hungover, he sat there with his hands in his lap on the freeway, and the car quite literally was driving us. And you can like see the lanes like on the dashboard,
That's
and they
so
like
crazy.
curve with it, which is crazy technology. But you're absolutely right. They were not doing everything that they should have been
They
doing
don't.
because they were not driving.
And if I ever own a Tesla dealership, it will be for the sole purpose,
Dealer.
either a dealership or if you become a state trooper. I will purposely make people retake their license test before getting a Tesla. And if I was a state trooper, I would purposely be designated to run down every single Tesla and ticket them. I thought about this
Well,
for a
you
while.
heard it here first.
All right,
Ooh.
that's about it. I hate
Wow.
Teslas.
We have talked a lot of shit today.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous about this one.
I am too. Let's redo it.
Well, you guys know the rules. We have to keep everything between us girlies. Maybe next episode we won't talk so much shit.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.